Hey guys, Byron and Christina back with another video. We want to make sure that you understand that when we talk about Byron and Christina build a house, we do not mean that we are going to be out there with a hammer and a nail, framing, especially, listen to me, a nail, not nails, a nail, framing a house or putting a roof on or any of that.
So you don't want to frame the house? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
no, I'm good on that. So today we are going to start a series with you guys, bids and estimates, which is going to kind of help lead you guys through the process of how you can find local contractors, analyze those bids, and ultimately choose which contractors are going to be right for your project.
Right, right. And so today we'll spend time focusing on just how do I find local subcontractors, because those that are new to this uh, may have no idea where to start. And so we're hoping this video kind of helps guide you on a good starting place and sources to find local subcontractors.
And you don't need anything to start doing anything that we're going to talk about in this video. You don't even need to be actually wanting to start this process anytime soon. You can be thinking years in advance and already starting to build out your list of contractors that you may want to use for your future projects.
Yeah, that's true. There's no prerequisites for this step. It's just a matter of accumulating contact information for each individual trade or bid. And so when it comes to new construction and building, it's like peeling back an onion.
Yep.
There's multiple layers, and at first it can seem intimidating because it's this giant puzzle, right? But it's just like with solving any giant puzzle. You take it one puzzle piece at a time.
Or one bite at a time, like you eating an elephant.
Yeah, or like the like the term, or like you're eating an elephant, right? One bite at a time. That's very good.
And so one of your first bites in your search for these local contractors can be something as simple as using internet search engines. Hopping on Google, typing in electrician near me or foundation work near me. Something like that, just to kind of get you a broad list of people who may be available in your area.
Yeah. And then getting tongue twisted there. But in addition to that, you can also check the National Association of Home Builders, like your local chapter. Often they'll have a directory, and in that directory is a list of all the different tradespeople that are members of that local association. So that should give you a firm starting point as far as a list of local subcontractors in your area.
Another big one is, of course, word of mouth. Someone who has worked with someone or knows somebody who knows somebody, that's always a good place to start because it gives a bit of a personal touch, especially if you're talking about friends and family. They want the best for you. So they're going to hopefully refer you to people who are actually good at what they're going to be doing, and you can kind of maybe have a little bit of trust in those recommendations.
Yeah, and I would say at this point, you're just trying to build a list.
Right.
So we're not at the point where we're really trying to narrow down that list yet. So take as many subcontractor information as you can. Take as much as possible to build out your list. Like Christina was saying, family and friends, church members, realtors. If you know a realtor or you used a realtor in the past, chances are they know a few subcontractors. Co-workers,
Yeah,
right?
but not the co-workers who be telling everybody's business. Some girl, so-and-so needs some work done in her bathroom. It's nasty over there. No, talk to the people that know how to keep your business to themselves and their business and all of that. You should be able to get at least a little something, someone else to add to your list.
Yeah. And social media, right?
Yes.
That's a good place, but
Yes.
you have to be careful with social media because you are reaching out to strangers
Yes.
on the internet.
And the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
www.
Wait a minute, aren't we strangers on the internet?
We are also strangers on the internet, but we are not trying to sell you anything. We are just giving you a piece of information that you can use to research, and that's going to be another thing that comes about when you are actually trying to narrow down these contractors. Anybody's recommendation from anywhere is something to take with a grain of salt. You are going to have to do some due diligence, but especially with these people on social media. Don't give anybody your credit card information. Don't pay anybody for anything at this point. You're just building a list.
Yeah, and in addition to that, you want to be safe. So,
Yes.
if you're going to meet someone online, that you met online, like a subcontractor, yeah, just make sure you meet with them in a public place, that sort of thing, daytime preferably, right? Just to be on the safe side. But in addition to social media and places like that, believe it or not, other subcontractors can often be a good way to find subcontractors
Because they've seen the work that the subcontractors that were before them, or they came back, they see all of that, and so they know if you're dealing with an electrician who leaves live wires all over the place or something like that, they can say, "You girl, don't use them. They that's a mess. Don't use them." But this painter, they always, every time I come in to do whatever after them, they're always very neat. They're always very clean, and so they have a little perspective on what some of the other subcontractors are doing.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it just right with that. These subcontractors, they follow the trades that are before them. So they have a very keen eye into understanding and seeing the quality of work that those tradespeople have put, in time and time again.
Yep. So another place that you can find subcontractors. So
wait a minute.
He already knows what I'm about to say.
I just prerequisite this. It can be risky.
Yes.
From the standpoint of you're putting yourself out there in this approach. But
So Byron cycles like on a bike, like long routes, 30 and 40 miles at a time. So he would start taking like a little longer, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he would come home so excited to tell me, "Babe, I met a framer, I met a roofer." And I'm like, "It's 6 o'clock in the morning. What do you mean you met a framer?" "Yeah, I just hopped off my bike and I went and talked to them. They were there working on the house, and I just went and talked to them." And I mean, you found a lot of good people that way, or seemingly good people that way.
Yeah, I mean that was a really good source of finding high quality potential subcontractors. Finding someone who's already on the job, already doing the work, and so it's almost like they have a proof of work right there in front of them. I mean, you still want to vet them out, but the way I look at it is, hey, if someone already hired them to do the work, then chances are, they're at least a cut above, somebody on Google or Facebook that I haven't met or seen their work. So
not only were they hired, but they showed up.
That's important too.
If they weren't there, you would have been able to find them. So,
and we got a whole another video for that one.
Yeah. Another way that you can find people in a similar fashion is alternating the way that you get from these places that you go often, like your normal journey to work. You probably have your preferred way, but maybe on your way home, take a different path. That would enable you to be able to see what other new subdivisions or new construction projects are going up around near where you live. And if it seems like quality work is being done there, you can take note of the work trucks with the logos and the phone numbers and contact information that you see at that job site. Write it down. Take a mental note. Probably write it down. Somehow.
Make sure you write it down.
Yeah, because you're going to forget. So write it down. Have your kids in the back. Hey, get that cell phone. Take a picture, of that real quick so that you're able to gather information of people who are actively working.
Yeah, and so that's on the job. So job site referrals. But there's also supplier referrals.
Yes.
So as you get deeper into this and you start talking with more subcontractors and more tradesmen, you'll wind up wandering into the different supply places for materials. And while you're there, you can do a little name dropping.
Yep.
You can say, "Hey, yeah, I'm working with so-and-so," or "I know so-and-so." And I mean, the suppliers, they're trying to protect their business. So they're going to refer you to people who do quality work because they want to earn your business.
Yep.
So we had that happen in two different cases. One in a plumbing supply store,
Yep.
and in another example, it was a design center where the design consultant
Yep.
referred us to a custom glass shop for our shower. So
Yeah, but it's gonna take you with most of these. It's going to require you kind of coming out of your comfort zone and being willing to talk to people. And I know for a lot of us, myself included, that's not the easiest thing. But if you're taking on a process like this, communication is vital. It's so vital. And talking to people to get those to build those relationships, to get those word of mouth referrals,
right.
that is going to it's going to take you really, really far in getting where you're trying to go.
And more than that, just be curious. You know, be curious about the process. Ask questions. It's okay to ask questions. Oftentimes, I'll ask a question. You know, some people don't like to come off as naive or appear to be, you know, I'm trying to use some word other than dumb, but you know, when it comes to construction and starting out, I mean, I was dumb. I didn't know anything, so I asked a lot of dumb questions. But that's how you learn. You know, you learn by asking questions. So now that we went through the process of how do you go about finding local subcontractors, like some of the ways that we used and utilized, going from knowing 0 subcontractors to developing a full list for our local area. Here's the list of trades that people should look for when you're building a house.
It's a lot of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have a lot of people coming into your home, right,
Yeah.
to help build it, and you know, you'll watch it grow over time, and you'll see one company come, another company leave, another company come. That's how the process works. You know, there's not just one person sitting there building your house for you. It takes a lot of businesses. So here's the list, okay? You're going to need surveyors. You're going to need excavators.
What are they?
Excavators. So excavators are people that, you know, you see them in the bulldozers and those big machines that have the little scoop bucket that picks up the dirt and moves it. So they're earth movers. They're the people that is going to grade your ground or your land and get it smooth and contoured and ready to build on, so that you have a flat surface if you don't already have one, or also to help with digging your footings. But we'll kind of get more in detail about their specific roles maybe in a later video. Okay.
But you see how I asked that question? I already knew the answer to that, but having him answer the question for me, like we were talking about, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
Get a lot of good information. Just wanted to put in that little teaching moment right there.
No, that's good. That's good. And then, so in addition to excavators, we also have block layers. That's who's going to come and lay the block down. And then there's a whole different type of tradesperson that actually pours the concrete, which makes sure that the finish is good on the slab and the footings of the concrete. Then you have the framers that come in, and they actually take the wood and build the actual structure or skeleton of the home. In addition to building the roof of the home as part of that skeleton. And then you have a roofer, a separate contractor that comes in and, you know, clads the roof with shingles or whatever material that you're using for your roof. In addition to that, then you have window installers who come in and install the windows. You also have plumbers who come in and finish doing the plumbing through your house. Yeah, you have the electrician who comes in to make sure you have energy coming to your home and that it's done properly and safely. You also have HVAC, which is the heating and ventilation, air conditioning. So if you want it nice and cool in there,
or nice and toasty,
or nice and toasty in the winter, you want this professional in your place. What else do we have? Exterior side.
Exterior.
Yeah.
Sorry, because you want to keep your nice toastiness or your coolness, you want to keep it in. And so you're going to need something around the outside of your house. And in between that, you're going to need someone to come in and do your insulation for you.
That's right. Insulation helps keep your home at a steady temperature. It keeps the cold air in when you want it and keeps the hot air in when you want it. Right?
Yep. And in addition to that, you have the drywaller. That's your walls. You have your trim carpenter, someone who will come in and do your crown molding and things like that. Potentially a cabinet maker, countertop fabricator, painters coming in, someone to do your garage door, someone to install gutters for you.
And then you also have someone to install the flooring and the tile. So each one of these is a different contractor. These are the contractors that you need to be looking for, making your list, just a name, a number, and the type of trade that they do. That's all you need right now in this pre-planning stage to get started on finding subcontractors. Yeah. Landscapers, that's another one that we didn't consider.
Get your little grass, get your little flower bed together.
Yeah. Now, of course, all these trades, you can decide what you want to do yourself. A lot of it you can do yourself, with the exception of a few trades that require licensing for sure.
Yeah,
and that's like your plumbing.
Yeah, plumbing, electricity. You probably want to have somebody else do your foundation and the framing. Like anything that's going to make sure that your house stays where it's supposed to be and doesn't burn down or flood. Probably let the professionals do that. Yeah. But things like your cabinets, your floors.
Painting.
You
can take on painting. You
tile
can take
work.
on tile work.
A lot of this stuff is DIY jobs that you can do yourself. But if you don't have the time or inclination, you can hire those professionals to do it for you.
Well, I think that wraps up our video today on bids and estimates, finding a local subcontractor and building that list. Thank you for watching the video, and always subscribe and hit that bell notification. Right? Hit that like button. There you go. And until we see you next time on the next video.
We'll holler.
Take care.